Okay, so I thought it'd be kind of fun if I talked through my fitness journey a little bit. So, this will be over the course of like 4 or 5 years. So, I grew up as a competitive swimmer and I was never a small kid, but I was also never the big kid either. Like I was a very fit kid, but I clearly enjoyed eating food, if that makes sense. Anyways, here I had like always struggled with my body weight and the way that my appearance, and when I stopped competitive swimming, I didn't understand the difference of the amount of food I was eating and that it would have an effect on my body, because my whole life I was eating to fuel my workouts, but now I wasn't working out at all, so naturally my body would change. So this is me here in university, and I still never really understood how much my body was changing until I went home that Christmas and I couldn't put on my clothes anymore, and I kind of hit a rock bottom of this needs to change. So this led to a lot of home workouts, and then COVID hit, so I got really focused and dialed in on my food and my eating, and I was dealing with a lot of really poor stomach issues at the time as well. So I got really, really strict on what I could and couldn't eat because things were setting my stomach off and making me feel sick all the time. So here I got very, very lean very quickly. Well, maybe not quickly, but over the course of that time at home. And I didn't realize, again, how much my body had changed. And I was so restrictive of things that I couldn't eat that I really didn't realize how small I had gotten until it was pointed out to me again, like by my clothes and by like relatives, that I was very little. And I didn't realize it until I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, wow, this is really not good. Now, some people look like this naturally, but for me, this was not a healthy weight to be at. So then I really kicked into gear trying to figure out what was wrong with my stomach, what foods were, and really trying to eat more foods and incorporate more foods slowly back into my diet. I started weight training a lot more, getting back into that. My muscles were growing and I was starting to feel really good. So here you can see I'm at a really good place. I was eating really well, really figuring out how to properly train, how to properly figure out the balance. I knew what foods were agreeing, what foods didn't agree with me, but I was still very limited on trying new things because I was so nervous about setting up the balance that I've created. Then I moved to Australia and I was still heavily into weight training, but then there was an outdoor pool at the school that I went to school at, and I really got back into swimming again. And then I started training for my first half marathon. So then my fitness started changing again, and I had to start eating so much more food, and this led to a lot of more, or this kind of led to a way more fun approach to food, because here I was really testing to the limits as to what I could eat and what I could do, and really eating to be really strong and really functional, which is very different than what I started as just wanting to change my appearance. But here there's a lot more mental stability, a lot more confidence with food, and knowing I'm eating to train. And this is a really cool time period. So here again, I was feeling really strong, still feeling really strong, and it was kind of like this upward battle of me starting to like finally grasp what health and wellness means to me, and all like kind of going through these waves of finding a sweet point of, okay, this is good. And this is me now. I've run a distance of a marathon, but now I'm training for my first ever official marathon, and I still weight train, and now I also swim at the same time. So it's kind of like a hybrid training style. And yeah, so that's my fitness journey. I kind of wanted to touch on it a little bit more because people are often asking. And I also wanted to say, I also struggled with trying to figure out the balance of it. And if you feel like you kind of go through these same cycles too, just know that you will figure it out. You just have to stay consistent. Like the main message with all this was that I was very consistent the whole time with knowing that I just wanted to feel good. And I had to go through trial and error. And at the end of the day, you have to do it yourself because nobody else can make you do this. And even if someone said to me, this method won't work, I had to do it myself to know that it wouldn't work. So if you're looking to start your fitness journey or do better or be better, follow along. I'm training right now, and let's just be motivated to be better together.